Now and then you know intuitively that there are moments in history where certitude is felt only by idiots.
Okay, this is Hungry Dogs, and I'm James Patterson. My guest today, this is so great, is Pulitzer Prize winning writer Peggy Noonan, and I'm intimidated because she's such a good writer. You may know Peggy from her weekly column in the Wall Street Journal, which she's been writing for more than 25 years, ever since she started writing when she was 12. So cool. Or from her many books on American politics, including her best-selling biography of Ronald Reagan, When Character Was King. I had Peggy on the show for some light conversation, politics, history, religion, you know, the easy stuff. Here's Peggy Noonan. You're going to love this one. Is that the famous office?
It is indeed.
What are on the doors? Notes to yourself and stuff. I love that.
Notes to myself, the names of files, quotations. Okay. There's a quotation from E.L. Doctorow that I keep prominently over there. It says, "The outside, of course, is a position of advantage for a writer."
Okay.
Be a little
Actually,
apart.
our son Jack, who when he was in high school, he got pulled into a musical and he wound up being the lead, which is so weird. And it was an E.O. Doctorow. Ragtime? Am I right? What was it?
Ragtime.
Okay. Yeah, which is interesting because he didn't think of himself as an actor or a singer or whatever. He didn't really even try out, but they forced anybody that took a theater class to try out for the play. And then speaking of Jack, though, this is a perfect lead into here. Jack gave me for Christmas a copy of A Certain Idea of America. And he got one for himself as well. And he said, let's read it together.
Oh, gosh.
Isn't that cool? That's such a wonderful thing. And we kind of, I kind of, but what we both did. And he knew most of the columns anyway, because he does the Wall Street Journal on a regular basis.
Is that your office or is that just your Zoom area?
Oh, no. This is my office. Yeah. This way are all of the shelves, and there's a thing that goes all the way around on the first level. And on there, this is the insanity of my life. There are, I think right now, 29 live projects, meaning books or screenplays or whatever else I'm doing. Like we just finished, which I really love the way it turned. You never know. You hope, as you know, every thing you do for the journal, every book, you hope they're going to turn out, but sometimes they don't. But this is with Viola Davis. We just finished a novel together. I think it's finished. Viola hasn't chimed in and said it's finished, but I hope it is. And I love it. I love the way it turned out. It's very emotional. It deals with an abortion in Alabama novel. I really like it a lot. So anyway, but all around here are all these insane things. We're doing a book with Mr. Beast. Have you heard of Mr. Beast?
Yes, I have. Mr. Beast is a very hot character, but I forget what Mr. Beast is. But people talk about Mr. Beast.
Yes, well, especially under 35 and under, he's like the Beatles. 35 above 35, it's a mixed bag in terms of people knowing what he does or whatever. But he does these things on Facebook and whatever. I guess he's the most popular person on it. And each one of these videos, they're usually about 20 minutes or so, they get a bigger audience than the Super Bowl. So it's interesting. And what we have in common, he and I went up and talked to him in North Carolina for about 4 hours, about a couple of months ago. And he loves doing his videos. He's 27. He loves doing his videos. I love telling stories. And we both kind of like to give money away. So we're I don't know, we're working together. And this thing, if we do, I think we're going to do it. It will also get a lot of young people reading. So that's a good thing.
Boy, that's just great. So you got Viola Davis, you got Mr. Beast, you got Bill Clinton.
And I got this interview with you. Yay! This is that. No, I was really excited about this one. I am. I mean, usually a little excited, and it's always a sort of a treat for me. But this one in particular, so because you're a scary writer, scary good, scary good. Yeah, in my opinion. What do I know? And I don't know if this is nostalgia, but whatever. You sometimes touch on good manners and decency and all those things that I vaguely remember from growing up. What's your notion on that? You just like to write about it, or you're keeping it alive somehow?
Yes, that's it.
Good manners in this year, boy. What an interesting topic.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It seems more relevant than ever. When I was out selling my book in December, January, and February, I did Fareed Zakaria's show on CNN. And he said, I detect a note of nostalgia in your work, as if you are missing the past. And I said, I actually don't feel that way. I wake up every day and I fire up my iPad and I get my coffee, and history goes only one way, and it's forward. And also, let's enjoy today. So I'm very hungry for now.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same way. I do not look backward very much. I'm always like, okay, I'm right there with you. It's
funny. I look at history, but I don't look backwards. But I told him, I said, Fareed, what you're really detecting, I think, is that I am trying to take the best of the past that worked and bring it forward into this platform of today right now and say, everybody, that's the way to do it, and push it forward.
Yeah. It's certainly something to think about.
That is often on my mind.
Yeah. No, it's astonishing to me. Human beings are astonishing to me. But one part of that is just that what we don't seem to learn. We don't seem to bring what's good in the past forward. It's like, it's bizarre. I don't understand. I don't understand what the heck is going on. Honestly, I used to have this notion that, people are smart enough, but I'm starting to doubt that a little. I'm starting to doubt. Somebody did some studies I saw in the Times about that. Our ability, especially young people, their ability to reason is getting worse and worse, which is really, really sad and crazy.
It is. I'm a little afraid. Is this true of you? I find myself a little bit afraid to come to terms with a general reigning stupidity out there, a lack of knowledge of things like, do you remember Jay Leno doing, Jay Leno would take a walk in the neighborhood and ask people, when was the Civil War? And they'd go, 1982. And he'd say, who was Saddam Hussein?
Good question there. That's a good ironic answer. Which Civil War?
Well, yes. So I try not to think about it too much because it messes with my swing, and there's nothing I can do about it except talk to people.
Your work habits. What sort of, do you have a routine, a ritual, or rituals, or?
I don't think I have rituals. I've got a 3 p.m. Thursday deadline. 3 p.m. Thursday, it's got to be done. It is never not on my mind. I'm always thinking, what am I going to write about? What do I want to write about? What is worthy of my readers, which is actually a serious question. They don't want you putzing around and being dumbly self-indulgent as opposed to reasonably and thoughtfully self-indulgent. It's got to be a topic worthy of their interest. It's got to be a topic in which I believe I have something valuable to say, meaning it hasn't already been said by 5 people.
Yeah, that's why we're not going to talk about
Trump. Tell me how you are as a writer. This is very important to me. My head has got to be there, but my soul and my heart and my sense of humor kind of have to be there. I kind of have to be engaged on all levels to attempt to do well. Are you the same?
Well, yes. And in fact, I was just reminding myself yesterday of that very thing because I'm outlining a book And my head was there in terms of the big reason why, but my soul wasn't in terms of really understanding the characters and caring about them. And that was a big reminder of me. In fact, I would say in terms of my dark years as a novelist, when I didn't do all that well, I kept trying to, I'm going to do a big bestseller, but I wasn't thinking about the soul and the heart and the characters. And that's the difference when I came to start writing Alice Cross novels, because my heart and my soul were in that character.
You liked him,
and that's a big difference.
Him.
And now pretty much everything I write, that if that heart and soul isn't there, I'm not ready to write.
Sometimes when you meet a person, a brand new person, and you sit down, you have a cup of coffee with them, you talk about your life, their life, and you key on to each other, do you at that point actually think what this person is would really be a good character in a book? Or does it not work that way? Can you extract something artistically from someone you met randomly last night?
I think sometimes, but no, I'm not, and maybe I'm not doing it on the spot. I don't think I do it on the spot much. I will do the thing about, like, is this somebody I'd like to keep dealing with? For example, with Dolly Parton, I immediately, I went down there for 2.5 hours. I was thinking maybe we do some children's books or something. And after 2.5 hours, we were friends already. And she's very funny. She's very funny and very sharp. It's very verbal. And she said, James, I've written, thousands of country songs. I could write one standing on my head. Want to see? I said, yes, I want to see you. Get up there.
Boy,
but it was like that.
Her.
It was delightful. She's a tough lady too, which is great. I always like that somehow it's not, there's some real strength there. So I don't remember where this is from. Maybe what I saw at the Revolution. I'm not sure where it is, but it's somewhere along the way. Maybe it's in A Certain Idea of America. You wrote in one of the essays, maybe I am a camera. And I saw at the Revolution, in my brain, I sort of said, is that totally accurate, or is part of it I am a typewriter? Meaning that you're such a good writer and you have such a way with words. And is it the camera, or how much of it is the camera and how much of it is the typewriter? I don't know if that's clear in terms of a question.
Yeah, it is. I Am a Camera was a chapter in What I Saw at the Revolution, my first book, in which I was trying to paint the Washington in which for a few years I was involved politically in the Reagan era. And that was the chapter in which I wanted to show you what I, a new person, an unconnected person who knew nobody in Washington, saw. And I had an entire file, in those days, literally a manila file with little papers thrown into it of observations. I opened the file, and in that file were my observations of Washington, my questions about it, what I saw that I didn't understand, what I saw that I thought I didn't understand. And so I thought I'd almost do a panning shot, if that's the phrase, of Washington in that chapter. That was 35 years ago, Jim. I can't believe it was 35 years ago. I don't know when your first book was.
I don't remember where this was, but you were talking about, how you had an idea of an apartment, exactly the kind of apartment you'd want in Washington, or exactly the kind of apartment you'd want in New York. And I thought that was kind of interesting in the sense of closing doors, as opposed to, here's what I really would like, but I really want to see what's out there, because I'm not, that vision I'll give you a better example. There was a friend, a woman that I liked a lot in college, and she wrote about seeing her husband for the first, I shouldn't say husband, I'm not sure if they were married or not, but she was with this man for a long time, and seeing him in a bar. And he was over in a corner in New York. He wound up being a relatively well-known newspaper guy. And he was smoking and reading a paperback or something. And she said, I fell in love with him. And I always wonder about that stuff. Like, really? That's an odd one, I think, or I don't know if I'm getting at the stuff there, but this idea of some vision that you have, not you, but people in general. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. And nor do I know. I could sit there and go, well, I think I'd like this kind of house, or I think I'd like to be here. But I tend to surprise, like where we are now in Palm Beach. In a million years, I can't imagine, 25 years ago, thinking, boy, I'd really like to be in Palm Beach. I love it here. But I couldn't have imagined it in a million years. I would have said, that's all wrong for me. There's no way. But when I get into it, I go like, oh, it is gorgeous. And there's the ocean. And we have X number of friends who we really like. And some of the people, not really our cup of tea, but so what? That's
so
me.
are we talking about
I don't know
how
what
you can instantly learn to love something or simply instantly love something? And it's
I think it's just trying to keep things open, which I think is interesting and sometimes difficult for people in terms of the possibilities. What would I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Now Jack, our son, would say that, we're sort of stuck in our ways. I don't think we are. Sue and I think we do know a lot of the things that we like, but I do think we're open to other things as well. I think. So
I am also.
Reagan Revolution, that's an interesting combination of words anyway. I don't think people think necessarily of a revolution. But you talked about it in the book about a lot of young people coming to Washington with the express purpose in a lot of their heads of just to make things better. Talk about that a little bit. I kind of like it's a kind of interesting.
That's the story of every new White House.
Okay,
it's full of idealists. That doesn't mean it's not also full of chuckleheads and wicked folk, and people who have a little of this, a little of that, an angel, a devil.
Well, idealists are frequently chuckleheads, but at least they're hard. At least their chuckle is on the right side,
Yes, and almost the more unimportant you are, the more sincere you are at the bottom. And then there's a murky middle, and then the top can be pretty sincere and idealistic, believe it or not. But that's the way it is about every White House. To this day, no matter, it's been 35 years, the book is still in print, and no matter who's in the White House, when it's a new White House, Clinton's White House, Obama's White House, George W. Bush, I have always gotten notes and phone calls from people who have said, your White House was nothing like my White House, but it was exactly like my White House. And I'm discovering it every day as you did.
I don't want to get into the current administration because it's just too much. As you say, let's do something fresh. But I wonder your impression, whether you think there's still a fair degree of idealistic people in Washington now, or is it changing drastically, or, is it harder to be idealistic in Washington these days?
I don't know. I certainly think I'm seeing a lot of fervor among the young ones there. Now, fervor isn't quite idealism, but being on fire to change things, sure, that can be a constant.
Going back to that period of time, you felt, I could be putting words in your mouth here, that the Vietnam War was essential for America's struggle against communism. Given some time and space and whatever, does that hold up for you as a thought? If you felt that,
it's not how I felt. I was a teenager and a young woman, a working woman, and then a woman in college when Vietnam was on. I think the way I felt was the way I lived then in New Jersey. It was the way New Jersey regular folk felt, which is, you're always for America and you're for our guys, but what is this thing? Can this possibly work with supply lines that long, with dedicated guerrillas who are fighting for their own country? Can this possibly work? So I had doubts and ambivalence. Sometimes for fun with my friends, I went to anti-war demonstrations, in part just to see it, Jim. Just to be
I
there
went
and be
to the
part of
March
it
on the
and know what a
Pentagon.
crowd is.
The March on the Pentagon. I hitchhiked down from New York with my best friend, and we went to that, and exactly for that same
Jim,
reason,
I was
just
there
to
too.
watch it, just to
Yeah.
watch it. And
Well,
what
it's 'cause
stuck
we're
with me all
writers.
these years was that you would go along, and there were all these little stands, and everyone was for different. I remember one against the Shah of Iran. I mean, every single one had a different gripe. It was fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes, I mean, now and then you know intuitively that there are moments in history where certitude is felt only by idiots. You know what I mean? The rest of us are trying to figure it out. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I did not start with your premise on Vietnam,
Okay.
but I bet you're
No, I was just
remembering
curious about
this
how we
part
grow or
from
not
that
grow,
book.
or change our minds or whatever. Yeah. Going
What
back
I
to
did
the
write,
Reagan period again, just one incident which is fascinating. I just insofar as you remember exactly, but when President Reagan went to Ted Kennedy's home, this was to raise some money for Kennedy Library. How was he received? A little bit, and then could something like that happen today? With the way the Republicans and Democrats seem to go at each other.
I would hope that personal graciousness would always have a sway, you know? I think people are a little afraid almost to be gracious now. That the photo, here's what people are afraid of now. Part of what they're afraid of. Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of a great state, Michigan, goes appropriately to meet with the president of the United States in the White House to have a conversation with him about some need of her state. I forget what it was. And she is so unnerved by the fact that she's there. And of course, there are photographers there. They half live in the Oval Office. But they go, of course, to take pictures of everybody there, including Whitner, and she gets so panicked, she covers her face with a file folder. Why? Because she's afraid the people who support her will feel that she's a quisling who has been
crazy.
poisoned.
I know. I get it.
Oh my goodness!
Why would you not? I mean, the thing with Morning Joe Scarborough going there. Why would you not go and talk to the president? You're supposed to be a reporter. You're supposed to be an editorial person. Why would you not? Whatever you think of that human being, you would want to talk to him, in my opinion.
But also, politicians have to deal with each other. There are tensions between the federal and state governments that have to be worked out. And there are favors that governors look for. Sometimes it's merely the favor of good and fair treatment, you know? And that is probably helped along by a good relationship. So that's that disturbs me, and it's true on the other side too. They don't want to be seen. They put up the file over their faces.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of Hungry Dogs. Help me out by liking and subscribing to the show. We want to get these interviews out to as many people as we can. You can help a lot. If you like the interviews, your friends will like the interviews, so help. Also, drop me a comment with any ideas you have to make the Hungry Dog interviews better. I'm hungry to hear what you think. I love new ideas. Thank you.